Hello! Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Oh, grabe. I'm so excited. Thank you to everyone who spoke earlier for your kind words and encouragement. Governor Saite Tangco, Deputy Governor Diwa, Wick Veloso, Nandi Aldaba, Robbie Domingo, Hans Sicat, Cesar Purisima, Risa Mantaring, Bo Sanchez, Bianca Gonzalez, John Bashirs, and Dan Ariely. And of course, thank you po sa inyong lahat who are with me right now. Thank you for carving out 1 hour of your nakakahilo na and very hectic Zoom schedules these days. Thank you also to those who are joining us on Facebook Live at ABS-CBN Books, FQ Mom, BDJ, and Crazy About Paper. And of course, my special thanks to GCash, particularly G Invest Group, for being our sponsor in this event. Maraming salamat po. Today is March 19, 2021. It would have been the 91st birthday of my mamang, and in a few days, it will be her 4th anniversary in heaven. I remember her dearly today, not just because it's her birthday today, but because she is really the great influence in my life in making me believe that being frugal is cool. And in fact, spending beyond your means is so uncool. And she also taught me one more lesson aside from being frugal. And that is sometimes we need to tell the truth, even if it is not popular to do so. In FQ Book 2, I take that risk of being unpopular. I call out that most popular answer to our money problems, which is financial education, and say that it doesn't work. Financial education does not work in the way we all want and hope for it to work. It is not the answer to our money problems. Honestly, I really hope it were. We teach you personal finance and you're all set. Unfortunately, there's no empirical evidence that shows that financial education works to solve our money problems. In fact, study shows that the positive effect of financial education on our financial behavior is a minuscule 0.1%. Think about that. Magpapabakuna ka ba kung ang efficacy ay 0.1% lang? The first time I read about that meta-analysis on the effect of financial education on our financial behavior, I was really surprised. I was shocked and even skeptical. I thought it was a typographical error, pero hindi eh. And when I studied it further, I realized, parang tama nga ito. Diba? Kadalasan naman, alam na natin kung anong dapat natin gawin. For example, when it comes to handling your money, I always talk about the 3 basic laws of money. Number 1, pay yourself first. Number 2, get only into a business that you understand. Number 3, and seek advice only from competent people. And then number 3, make your gold work for you and make an army of golden slaves before you buy luxury. Simple, right? Yet, simple is not always easy. And it goes the same when it comes to health, for instance. Meron din tayong 3 basic laws of a healthy life, di ba? Eat well, sleep well, and exercise regularly. Is there any adult who does not know these 3 basic laws of health? I guess none. But look where we are. Look where our general health condition is. Is there anyone who cannot understand the 3 basic laws of money that I earlier enumerated? I guess none. But even if they master these 3 basic laws and even if they ace their financial literacy classes that will be mandated by the government, they will still end up with a lot of money problems. And there would be no difference between that who took the classes and that who didn't. Ang lungkot, di ba? And it's so sad if we are going to put our finite resources in financial literacy programs that will not work. So bakit ganito? Bakit alam na nga natin, tinuro na sa atin, naintindihan na natin, pero di pa rin natin magawa? To lighten up this speech of mine, I will just share with you the meme of the FQ Book 2. It goes like this. Bakit gets ko na, pero di ko magawa? So let's just imagine that we're in a nice ballroom of a five-star hotel and I'm going to ask you, kasi it sounds like a rap, di ba? I-rap nga natin to sabay-sabay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bakit gets ko na, pero di ko magawa? Bakit gets ko na, pero di ko magawa? Okay, I'll just assume na sinabayan niyo ako and you even laughed at me, but please, let's just give me a big hand for that rap performance. Okay ba? So, bakit nga ba? Bakit gets ko na pero di ko magawa? It's because of our human wiring. At the start of the book, I give you a short lesson on biology. Talk about the brain. There is that part of the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex. That's our rational brain. When I give you a math problem, that's a part of your brain that you use. And there's also that limbic system, our emotional brain. That is the seat of all our emotions. And this is responsible for switching the fight or flight reaction. So, question, guess which part of the brain financial education targets? It's our prefrontal rational brain. And guess which part of the brain drives our behavior? It's our emotional limbic system. So this is the reason why there is a huge gap between our knowledge and our behavior. And this is the reason kung bakit gets ko na pero di ko pa rin magawa. The reason also why we should all use the principles of behavioral economics in dealing with our important matters such as money, health, career, relationships. Behavioral economics is simply the fusion of the traditional economics, which always assumes that the consumer acts rationally, and psychology, which studies our actual behavior. Behavioral economics sounds a little bit intimidating, and that's the reason why I created Makatwirang Mak and Emotional Emo, so that we can understand all those principles without nosebleed, ika nga. FQ Book 2 brings down the highfalutin, Ivy League-ish terms such as loss aversion, sunk cost fallacy, hyperbolic discounting, and many more to mainstream language. Alam mo, dream ko talaga na yung regular Juans and Juanas mag-uusap ng ganito. Sabihin na isa, about investing. Pare, ibenta mo na yung basura stocks mo. Nasa sunk cost fallacy ka lang. Yung mga ganon. Or kung minsan naman, yung mga girls, sasabihin ng isa, nako girl, tigilan mo na yung kaka-YOLO-YOLO mo. Ano ngayon kung seat sale, wala ka pang savings? Ayan, hyperbolic discounting lang yan. Present bias lang yan. Huwag ka masyadong YOLO-YOLO, you only live once. You should also remember, yago, you also grow old. So, yun talaga yung dream ko na parang maging mainstream language, itong mga Ivy League na kind of highfalutin behavioral economics principles. You know, in the book, as you go from one behavioral bias to the next, you will give yourself your me score, your MAC-EMO score. That way, you know where to protect yourself. You know, some have asked me, Rose, what's a good me score? And to that I answer, it's the honest me score. You should answer the question, how are you affected by these behavioral biases? Hindi yung, do you understand these behavioral biases? And you know, you just have to remember na ako mismo, I've been studying this for a decade now. And guess what my me score is? It's 41/59. So I'm leaning towards emong. I guess the regular rational person is around 40/60. But what does that mean? Does it mean that when you're more emong that you cannot have a high FQ? Fortunately, the answer is no. Your me score is just your rational/emotional temperament, your natural tendency. And the more you know, and the more you are honest about it, the more you can safeguard your decision making and behavior. Like for instance, in my case, when it comes to ego depletion, medyo matindi yung emo ko doon. I'm 30/70 in terms of ego depletion. I know that it's hard for me to make sound decisions and even be nice if I'm hungry. I'm just like the judges that I discuss in a study in the book. Do you know that when your parole case is being talked about, pag gutom na yung mga judges, chances are he will not get a parole. You get higher chances of getting a parole pag busog ang mga judges at the start of the session or right after lunch. Things like that. So, after you assess your own me scores in all 16 behavioral biases discussed in the book, you can now protect yourself from your own weaknesses. And that's what we should all do. Let's determine our respective me scores so that we can protect ourselves from ourselves. And this is my call to those who may not like the thought that our favorite solution, financial education, to our money problems doesn't work. Please read the book. Understand why sometimes you might feel that those whom you've given financial education to actually improve their financial behavior. Understand that there are so many other factors affecting the behavior. Remember that correlation is not causation. Yes, financial education still needed, but we should not count on it as the solution to our money problems. You see, it appears to be the most intuitive and intellectually attractive solution to the problem. It is very enticing, it's very seductive, even profitable for some, including myself. And it's very convenient to the institutions responsible for solving the problem. If we put all these elements together, it's so easy for us to agree and just convince ourselves that that's the win-win solution to our money problems. Except that we won't be able to help the guy whose problem we are trying to solve. The problem is that if we continue to count on financial education as the solution to our money problems, we will just be wasting limited resources, bring false hopes and undue confidence, make us put the blame on the wrong things, and distract us from addressing the real problem more effectively. Like what's been happening to our public school teachers who are buried in debt. No wonder they once had a rally and they had this big banner that said, financial literacy is not the solution to our problem. It is bothersome to think how financial literacy programs are expected to result in educated consumers who can handle their own insurance, their own credit, investment, retirement planning, etc. Just because they are given numerous options to choose from in the free market, can we really expect the regular one to understand all these hybrid products offered with varying stages of complexity? No standardized way of even expressing the interest rates. No easy to understand ano ba ang investment component dito, what are the commission rates, what are the forfeiture clauses, and the like. If we don't expect our regular one to be his own doctor and to be his own lawyer or legal advisor, why should we expect a lot from him when it comes to handling his money? Think about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm offering FQ Book 2 as my gift to the Filipino community and the world. I hope that by trying to come up with this fun way of understanding complex matters about money behavior, I'll be able to help you understand and focus on the right things in solving our behavior. I promise you it's an easy read. It's an easy read. After reading this book and giving yourselves your honest me scores, you will never be the same again. You will be able to catch yourselves and even your loved ones and label those behavioral biases that's making it harder for you to do the right thing. Sasabihin nyo, uy, loss aversion lang yan. Uy, confirmation bias yan. Uy, illusion of control yan. You'll be able to incorporate pauses so that you can make the right decisions that are good for you, not just your present self, but also your future self. Knowing your biases will help you design the correct default choices, making it easier for you to always do the right thing more effortlessly. Why waste your precious willpower when you can automate things? And the good news is this: behavioral economics principles are not just applicable in money matters. They are also applicable in our love life, our health, relationships, career, and the other important aspects of our life. So again, I invite everyone to read FQ Book 2 to have all these benefits. Let's all embrace our duality, our mak and emongness, our me scores with pride, and live more meaningful lives. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.